Do you feel you know and can easily communicate the value you provide at work? Do you, the employee, feel that your supervisor and others know and fairly evaluate the value you produce? Do you, the leader, believe that your employees are as clear as they should be on what value looks like and how to create that value rather than just keep busy? If you're struggling with any of these issues, you're watching the right video. Welcome to Untapped Value, where we identify a value-added output in each video. Today's value-added output was developed with Chad, a frontline engineering manager. Chad was dealing with rapid turnover of his engineers. Most would leave his organization within 2 years, which left him needing to bring in new workers and bring them up to speed quickly. He also shared this with me. I don't know how to explain my job to my children. I can't think of anything other than I manage. Watch for these benefits as we uncover his value-added output. Chad will not only be better able to describe his job to his children, but he'll have a story and metrics to show leaders that he deserves a high performance rating and a promotion. Chad's manager will have metrics he can watch throughout the year to justify Chad's positive evaluation. Since work only has value when it contributes to organizational improvement and success, we'll first identify one or more of Chad's relevant business results. These are results in which Chad can see how his contribution has influenced a metric senior leaders care about. Chad can reference this metric in performance evaluations and on resumes as well. We agreed that Chad influenced new employee retention, since most of employees comes from university recruiting or from other companies. A value-added output is something you produce, a service, physical product, event, document, or other countable output that is proven to influence relevant business results. When I talked to Chad as a training and development guy, I was focused on finding training he felt his engineers needed. I was surprised by his answer. He said, "Why should I spend the time getting them trained when most of them leave within 2 years?" And he added with a discouraged tone, "I'm not even sure I enjoy managing. I don't know how to describe my job to my children. What is it I do? I tell them I manage." You and I both know that managers do so much more that their jobs can be overwhelming. But sometimes it can seem that much of their work has little value. That's where I can help, by identifying a person's value-added outputs. "Chad," I asked, "where do you get the employees you manage from?" "Mostly the universities we recruit from. This is usually their first job." "And where do your employees go when they leave?" Applications engineering, design engineering, and some to research and development, and some leave for other companies." The company didn't really have a retention problem. It had employees they were promoting from within that Chad had worked with. I now knew Chad's value-added output. "Chad, you provide one of the most important value-added outputs in the company. You produce a promotable employee. Have you thought about that?" Chad's countenance changed. It seemed he was thinking about all those employees who had been promoted out of his department into more senior jobs. Their departures were proof of his leadership. He had measurable value. Because every value-added output needs criteria to identify when the output has been successfully created, we then needed to set criteria for a promotable employee. These criteria would not be easy to achieve. If Chad was going to differentiate himself from others, the criteria would be written so that only the best frontline managers, such as Chad, could achieve them 80% of the time. The criteria we created were: promoted within 2 years of hire, takes an internal job, stays in the new job or receives another promotion within 6 months. You'll notice that there's a need to determine how metrics will be reported as well. How did this value-added output benefit Chad and others? Chad added objective metrics to his performance evaluation. Chad had the ability to see his improvement through those metrics. Rather than having a perception of improvement, he had metrics to show his improvement. When Chad was ready for a promotion, he had a story to tell and metrics to back up that story. Chad could tell his children that at work, he developed promotable employees. Because Chad now understood the value he produced, he was satisfied to stay in his frontline engineering manager position for 3 additional years. Value-added outputs are best created through manager-employee discussion. In this case, I had helped Chad discover his value-added output. I encouraged Chad to take this idea back to his manager so that his manager could realize the benefits of the value-added output. These benefits include the following. Chad's manager didn't have to rely on memory to determine Chad's value at annual appraisal time. He had metrics from this value-added output. And actually, he would have access to Chad's metrics anytime, not just at a set appraisal time. Chad's manager easily justified Chad's requests for learning experiences, both for himself and for his employees in their roles. Chad and his manager agreed on the value-added output and how to measure improvement. Chad's manager saw and appreciated Chad's increased engagement at work. If you're in a frontline manager position, this value-added output might apply to you. Consider discussing that possibility with your manager. Know that value has to be something you agree on. So you'll need your manager to agree with you on the value-added output along with its criteria and the metrics you'll use to communicate your achievement. The value-added output and its criteria might need to be modified to fit your organization's culture and specific needs. What's your value-added output? Since I believe everyone should know their value, I provide a limited number of complimentary value-added output discussions each week. You can ask me to help you develop one for yourself or for a job you manage. Go to the webpage shown on this screen to schedule that complimentary value-added output discussion. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you know when I've posted another value-added output to help you release the untapped value in you and in your employees.